Here's something that should make every manager lose sleep. The best employee on your team, the one who never misses a deadline, who fixes things before you even notice they're broken, who genuinely cares, is probably updating their LinkedIn right now. Not because they hate their job, not because a competitor dangled a 20% salary bump, but because something quiet, invisible, and completely fixable has been chipping away at them for months. And here's what makes it brutal. Most companies only find out after the resignation letter is already on the table. We're not talking about disengaged employees who are coasting anyway. We're talking about your sharpest people, the ones you'd panic to lose. And the uncomfortable truth is that when they walk, it's rarely about the job itself. It's about everything wrapped around it. The numbers don't lie and they are ugly. Let's start with the hard data, because this isn't a feelings conversation. This is a money conversation. According to the Work Institute's 2025 retention report, replacing a single employee costs about 33% of their annual salary. Lose someone earning $50,000 and you're looking at $16,500 in recruiting costs, training time, and lost productivity, minimum. That's before you account for the institutional knowledge walking out the door. And people are absolutely walking. In October 2024 alone, 3.3 million U.S. workers quit, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. 3.3 million in 1 month. This isn't a blip on the radar. This is a sustained, structural signal that something is deeply broken in how companies are treating people. BLS, October 2024. Quit data via CNBC. Harvard researchers. Why workers still want to quit. Harvard spent a decade on this. Here's what they found. For over 10 years, Harvard researchers interviewed and studied more than 1,000 workers, from Fortune 500 CEOs to Chipotle kitchen managers. Their finding, published in the Harvard Business Review and detailed in their book Job Moves, is something that challenges every assumption companies make about retention. It's not the paycheck. It's not even the bad boss, though that's close. The core driver behind voluntary turnover, they found, is a lack of meaningful progress. People don't leave jobs. They leave situations where they feel stuck, where they can't see themselves growing, where the work used to feel like it meant something and now it just feels like going through the motions. Researcher Michael Horn, a lecturer at Harvard Graduate School of Education, put it plainly: many people don't even fully understand why they're quitting when they hand in their notice. The decision often comes as a fight or flight reaction. Burnout, a dead-end role, or a toxic manager finally pushes them over an edge they've been standing on for a long time. And without understanding their actual priorities, they risk walking straight into the same situation at their next employer. The HBR article on this research won the 2025 Warren Bennis Award for the best Harvard Business Review article on leadership. Let that sink in. The boss is the job. You've heard this one. People don't leave companies, they leave managers. It's become such a cliche that most organizations roll their eyes at it, do a yearly manager training, check the box, and move on. But the data behind this cliche is genuinely alarming, and companies are still not taking it seriously enough. Research by DDI, Development Dimensions International, found that 57% of employees have left a job because of their manager. Not because of the company's direction, not because of the office location, because of the person they reported to every single day. A separate Gallup analysis of over 1 million U.S. workers found that the #1 reason people voluntarily quit is a bad boss or immediate supervisor, and that managers account for at least 70% of the variability in team engagement levels. Here's the version that really stings. Bamboo HR surveyed employees who had quit in the past year and found that 47% of them said they actually loved their job. They just couldn't stand their manager, nearly half. These weren't people who were indifferent. They were people who were actively invested, who enjoyed the work itself, and who were driven out anyway. And what does a bad boss actually look like? It's not always the screaming tyrant. More often, it's someone who micromanages every small decision so their employees feel incompetent. It's a manager who takes credit publicly and assigns blame privately. It's a leader who goes completely silent during the moments their team needs clarity most. Research from Dr. Jack Zenger shows that most employees don't quit because of impossible workloads or screaming bosses. They quit because they feel invisible. Leaders who don't check in, don't recognize contributions, and don't provide meaningful feedback are the real culprit. The engagement cliff, a generation is checking out. Gallup's 2024 State of the Workplace report revealed something companies should be pinning to every boardroom wall. U.S. employee engagement dropped to its lowest level in over a decade. In the first quarter of 2024, only 30% of workers were fully engaged at work. That means 70% were either just showing up or actively working against their employer's interests. That's 4.8 million fewer engaged employees compared to just the end of 2023 in a single quarter. And the sharpest decline wasn't among veteran employees who'd grown cynical over decades. It was among workers under 35. Generation Z's engagement dropped by 5 points. The youngest, most energetic cohort of the workforce is disengaging faster than any other group. The specific things collapsing are telling. Only 46% of employees say they feel clear about what's expected of them at work, down from 56% in 2020. Only 39% feel that someone at work genuinely cares about them as a person, down from 47%. Only 30% believe someone at work is actively encouraging their development. When you strip away all the corporate language, what you're left with is this: people don't feel seen, they don't feel supported, and they don't feel like they matter. Gallup estimates that disengagement is costing the global economy $438 billion annually in lost productivity. That's not a soft, feel-good statistic. That's a financial catastrophe playing out in slow motion across every industry. Burnout is the slow exit before the fast one. Before a great employee quits, they burn out. It doesn't happen overnight. It's a gradual erosion. The intrinsic motivators draining away one by one until there's nothing left to fuel them. Connection, meaning, safety. When those go missing, resentment fills the gap. And when resentment hits a tipping point, the resignation letter is already written in their head. A 2024 survey found that 52% of employees reported feeling burned out, more than half. Women were hit harder. 59% reported burnout compared to 46% of men. Toxic workplace behavior is the single biggest predictor. Employees in toxic work climates are 8 times more likely to experience burnout. And burnout doesn't just lead to poor performance. Research shows that employees experiencing burnout are 2.6 times more likely to be actively looking for another job. The phenomenon has evolved a name in 2025, the Great Detachment. Unlike the Great Resignation, where people physically left, the Great Detachment is quieter and in many ways more dangerous. Employees are still showing up to work. They're just not really there anymore. They do exactly what's required and nothing more. They stop volunteering ideas. They stop caring about outcomes. The lights are on, but no one's home, and companies are paying full salaries for half-engaged workers until those workers eventually find the courage or the better offer to leave. Business psychologist Edel Holliday Quinn, who has worked in senior roles at Citi and PwC, describes what she's seeing as a buildup of resentment from years of being stretched too thin, being asked to absorb extra workloads after rounds of cuts, and being told to just be grateful they still have a job. When the job market opens up, she says, those simmering employees don't just leave quietly. In 2025, we started seeing revenge quitting, employees walking out not just to move on, but to make a point. What actually makes people stay? If you want to stop losing your best people, the Harvard research team has a clear prescription. The progress that matters, they argue, isn't a linear climb up the corporate ladder. It's the intersection of 3 things: meaningful work, being genuinely valued and respected by the people around you, and having real opportunities to grow, excel, and advance. Bamboo HR's data reinforces this from the other direction. 45% of employees say a good relationship with their boss is the main reason they stayed in their role. Among those who've stayed long-term at a company, 58% say strong relationships were the deciding factor. Not the ping-pong table in the break room, not the free snacks. Real human connection with the people they work with and for. That is how powerful the manager relationship is. It's not a soft skill, it's the core business lever for retention. The fix isn't complicated, but it requires companies to stop treating it as HR's problem and start treating it as leadership's responsibility. That means regular, honest conversations about what's working and what isn't. It means promoting people who lead well, not just people who perform well individually. It means creating the kind of clarity, connection, and growth that Gallup has been measuring for 2 decades, and companies have consistently failed to build.